I remember the moment I realized the sun was gone. At first, I thought it was some cruel trick of the clouds, a thick, rotting fog swallowing the horizon. But when the world didn't brighten again, when the warmth never returned to my skin, when even the faintest glimmer of dawn refused to pierce the gloom, I knew. Somehow, the sun had died, or perhaps it had never existed for me at all. There was only darkness now, stretching across the world like a living thing, and I, like everyone else, had to learn how to survive in its endless appetite. The first nights were the hardest, though there is no night anymore. The darkness is constant. It has weight, a suffocating heaviness that presses against my chest when I walk through the streets of what used to be a town. The buildings lean toward each other, blackened husks of stone and wood, their windows staring blindly like empty eyes. In the corners of my vision, I sometimes see shapes, shifting and curling, as though the shadows themselves have become conscious. And when I look directly at them, they vanish, always just out of reach, always teasing. I remember my mother screaming when the darkness first came. She had tried to light a fire, to hang lamps and torches in every room, but the flames would die in her hands. Smoke would curl into the air and vanish before it touched the ceiling. I could feel her despair like a physical thing, and I learned that night that despair feeds the shadows. They come silently, crawling over the walls, sliding across the floor, and if they touch you when you are hopeless enough, they take something from you. Sometimes a memory, sometimes a thought, sometimes pieces of your very soul. I woke to her absence the next morning, or what I thought was morning, for there was no sun to mark time, and found only an empty bed and the lingering scent of burnt wax. I was 12 the first time I saw one of them properly. I had wandered too far into the streets, driven by a mixture of curiosity and hunger, and I caught a movement at the edge of the darkness. It looked like smoke, black smoke, curling in the air like it was alive. But then I saw the eyes, small, sharp, glimmering like wet stones, and I realized it was not smoke at all. It had a shape, a terrible, shifting form that seemed to change whenever I tried to focus on it. And I felt its hunger, raw and immediate, pressing at the edges of my mind. I screamed and ran, and the sound of my own terror echoed down the empty streets like a warning. I ran for hours that night, though the concept of time is meaningless here. The darkness blurs everything together. Streets twist into one another, buildings rearrange themselves when you aren't looking, and sometimes I swear I see my own reflection in a puddle or a broken mirror, and it moves independently, watching me with eyes that are too wide, too knowing. I learned quickly to avoid mirrors. Food is scarce. The plants withered without sunlight, leaving only bitter roots and fungi that grow in damp, hidden corners. Water is heavy with darkness, though I have no words to describe it fully. There is a taste, a pull, that makes your throat tighten if you drink too much. Some of the older ones say the water carries whispers, the voices of those who've already been taken, and I have heard it sometimes in the quietest moments. Low murmurs, asking questions I don't want to answer. I survived by moving, always moving. The shadows do not like movement. Perhaps they tire of chasing, or perhaps they cannot follow so long as there is a living, breathing creature resisting their hunger. I keep to the streets and alleys that are half fallen, where the buildings collapse inward and create narrow passages. Sometimes, I climb the ruins of taller buildings to see the layout of the city, to memorize paths and escape routes, and to spot the shapes in the darkness before they see me. But even in motion, they find ways to reach me. There is one, a particularly large one I call the Watcher, that I see most nights. It does not move like the others. It simply stands at the edge of the darkness, a tall silhouette with arms that bend at impossible angles. Its eyes, if they can be called that, glow faintly like molten metal. I have never spoken to it. I do not think it is sentient in any human sense, but it is aware. I can feel it. When it shifts its position, the darkness seems to ripple, as though water is flowing toward me. And I know it waits always for the moment I falter. Sleep is dangerous. In the first weeks, I tried it, trying to cling to the remnants of normalcy. But dreams bring the shadows closer. In my sleep, I have walked streets that do not exist, seen figures with impossible faces and too many limbs, and felt the same pull at my soul that I feel when awake. I wake in cold sweat, sometimes with scratches on my arms or legs, though I know I have never touched anything. Once, I woke to find my hair tangled with something that smelled of iron and smoke, something I could not name. I have met others, fewer than I would have hoped, for most have given in to despair. Those who remain move silently, with eyes that dart constantly, bodies tensed for flight. We share information in whispers, passing notes written in charcoal or scratching messages on walls that the shadows cannot touch. They teach me things I would not have learned alone. Tricks for surviving, methods to hide my scent, ways to keep my mind from unraveling when the shadows are close. One man taught me that light is not entirely useless. Even the faintest glimmer of phosphorescent fungi can distract them if you move fast enough. Another taught me how to read the stars, though there are no stars, only the faint memory of patterns burned into the back of my eyes. The most dangerous part is hope. I have learned this the hard way. If you allow yourself to hope too deeply, hope for rescue, for sunlight, for the return of warmth, the shadows can sense it. They come faster, more violently. They feed not just on despair, but on the fragility of your optimism, on the small joys that keep you human. I have seen people vanish in moments of elation, their laughter turned to screams that echo in the dark long after they are gone. I do not allow myself to hope anymore. I cannot. I am careful not even to hope for survival, only to continue moving, only to continue resisting. There are moments when I almost forget. A glimmer of moonlight that never was, the sound of wind brushing against leaves that do not exist, a scent of something sweet and alive in the air. These moments are dangerous. They lure me into vulnerability. I have stumbled more than once because of them, and each time, the shadows were closer, hungrier, and I had no choice but to run until I was nothing more than a trembling shadow myself. Yet, even with all the terror, there is a rhythm to survival. A pattern that forms over months, years, even though I no longer know how long it has been.
I wake, I move, I skavenge, I hide.
I observe. I learn. The shadows are patient. So am I. And somewhere in that patience, I have begun to understand them. Not fully, never fully, but enough to know that fear is their language and silence is mine. Tonight, as I write this, I sit in what remains of a collapsed cathedral. The roof is gone, the walls are blackened and jagged, and the pews are nothing more than splintered wood. But the center of the floor holds a patch of fungi that glows faintly green. It is enough to see the edges of the room, to mark the presence of the watcher outside, standing like a sentinel at the threshold of darkness. I do not look directly at it. I never do. It is enough to know it is there. I hear something move beyond the shattered walls. A scraping, soft but deliberate, like claws on stone. My heart hammers and I clutch a length of pipe I found near the ruins. It is heavy, awkward, but it is mine. I have used it before. I will use it again if I must. The scraping stops. I hold my breath. The darkness swells, and I can feel the edges of it pressing closer, testing my resolve. I do not falter. I cannot. I think of my mother sometimes. I wonder what the shadows took from her. Was it her memory? Her mind? Or something else, something deeper that I cannot name? I do not allow myself to dwell too long. The watcher's gaze is patient. My own despair could be the death of me if I am careless. The air shifts. I sense it before I see it. Movement in the periphery, subtle, almost playful. The shadows have found something new to toy with tonight. Something small, fleeting. I tighten my grip on the pipe and step toward the exit of the cathedral ruins. Silence stretches, heavy and full. My ears strain for the faintest hint of sound. And then I hear it. A whisper, soft and wet, like a tongue-licking stone. Come. It is not human. Cannot be. And yet, my body reacts. A mixture of terror and irresistible curiosity. I have learned to obey neither. But this time, something stirs within me. A feeling that I have not allowed myself for years. The urge to see, to know, to confront what lies beyond the safety of the glowing fungi. I take a step forward, and the darkness leans in closer. I step forward, and the air thickens around me. It smells of wet stone, of rot, of something older. something that has been feeding here long before I arrived. Each step echoes in the hollow space of the cathedral ruins, though it should not. Sound behaves differently here, bending, folding into the darkness, returning in whispers that are never quite my own. The whisper comes again. Closer. I do not answer. I do not move faster. I have learned that panic is the shadow's most faithful ally. I breathe slowly, counting the seconds, though I no longer know what a second is. Time has fractured here. The shadows move outside of it. They do not measure hours. They measure fear. A shape emerges at the edge of the faint fungal light. A silhouette taller than I am, ragged and flickering at the edges like smoke caught in a draft. The Watcher? Perhaps. Or perhaps something else entirely. A new predator bolder than the rest. It does not speak. The whisper was a lure, a distraction, a test. Its head tilts impossibly, and for a fraction of a second, I glimpse teeth, long, sharp, glinting in the pale green light. I raise the pipe, though it feels absurdly fragile, a child's toy against this embodiment of hunger. The shadow steps closer, but it does not move with legs. It seems to slide, a fluid mass of blackness. And then I see it, its eyes, thousands of tiny pinpricks, reflecting the green glow like scattered stars across the surface of an oil slick. They are not eyes, not really. They are mirrors, and each one shows me something I do not wish to see. I stumble backward, and the pipe clatters to the floor. The shadow pauses, almost amused, almost curious. I can feel its hunger, the way it coils around the edges of my consciousness, probing, testing. I close my eyes. I will not feed it. I will not give it the satisfaction of fear. The sound of running water reaches me then, echoing from deep below the cathedral. In the sunless reaches, even a trickle is precious. The shadows avoid it. They hate movement, hate noise, hate life. I seize the moment and dart toward the sound, slipping past the edge of the green light and plunging into darkness deeper than I have ever experienced. The water leads me down broken stairs into a cavern beneath the city. Here, the darkness is different. It is dense, almost tactile, and I have to keep my hands out in front of me to avoid walking into walls that shift when I blink. The air is damp, thick with the smell of fungus and decay. A faint glimmer of phosphorescence lines the walls. Mold, perhaps, or some forgotten mineral, but it is enough to guide me. I pause at the edge of a pool of water, the surface unnaturally still, reflecting nothing. I kneel and drink cautiously, tasting the faintest tang of iron. The whisper of voices again, but they are faint, distant, and I force myself to ignore them. The shadows are close but hesitant. They do not enter the water. I remain crouched for a long time, listening. The scraping noise returns, closer now, moving over stone above me. The Watcher, or whatever it was, is aware I have escaped its trap. I can feel its presence like a weight on my back, though I do not turn to look. I cannot. To do so would be madness. Eventually, hunger drives me upward again. The darkness above the cathedral ruins is thicker now, almost suffocating. I climb over splintered beams and crumbled stone, hands bleeding, lungs burning, until I reach the street above. But the world I emerge into is not the world I left. The city has changed in my absence, or perhaps I have changed in the absence of time. Streets twist impossibly. Buildings merge into each other. Alleyways open where there were walls. And everywhere, just beyond the edge of sight, the shadows wait. I stumble through the streets, unsure whether I am fleeing or walking into a trap. Movement alone is no longer enough to guarantee safety. I hear voices ahead, not the whispers of water or wind, but human voices. Tentative, low, frightened, but unmistakably human. I approach cautiously, keeping to the shadows. A group of 3 huddles near a collapsed archway. Their faces are pale, eyes wide, hands trembling. They see me first, though, and freeze. The shadows behind them do not wait. They press against the edges of the light, black fingers stretching, reaching. I step into the dim light, pipe raised, and shout. Not a greeting, not a warning, just a sound, human and defiant. The shadows recoil slightly, hissing. The humans take the hint and scatter, disappearing into the alleys. And I realize then that I have made a mistake. The shadows will remember me now, and they will hunt me harder for my intrusion. I run. Hours, or what I perceive as hours, later, I find a building that has not been claimed by collapse. A library, perhaps, though its books are waterlogged, their pages crawling with black mold. I do not care. I climb through a broken window and collapse in the ruins, listening to the faint scratching of shadows outside, feeling the weight of their hunger pressing through the walls. Here, I allow myself a small act of rebellion. I light a piece of fungus, carefully, coaxing a faint glow into a makeshift lantern. It is not much, but it is enough to illuminate the pages of a journal I find. Its words are faded, smeared with moisture, but I read anyway. The writer speaks of the sunless reaches as I now know them, a world without hope, where despair is currency and shadows are sovereign. He writes of creatures that feed on dreams, that steal fragments of the soul, leaving hollow shells of humanity. I am not the first to endure this. I am not alone in my terror. The shadows do not like reading. I notice this immediately. As I turn each page, I feel them pressing against the walls, circling, testing. I do not stop. I read until my eyes ache and my mind feels like it is fraying at the edges. And in the journal, I find something more than warnings. I find instructions, rituals, precautions, strategies, things to do, ways to survive, ways to avoid feeding the darkness. It is not hope. It is not salvation. But it is something. Knowledge. And in the sunless reaches, knowledge is a weapon. Night, or the absence of day, stretches endlessly outside. I sit among the ruins, cradling my pipe, tracing the instructions with trembling fingers. One passage catches my attention. A method to call the shadows to the surface and force them to retreat, if only temporarily. It is dangerous, possibly lethal, but it promises a reprieve, a small reprieve from their constant stalking. I decide I must try it. I gather materials from the library, fragments of glass, dry fungus, charred wood, and follow the instructions. A circle, symbols carved in blackened stone, markings I do not fully understand but replicate with care. My heart hammers. The shadows sense it. They swirl outside the building, waiting. The air hums with their anticipation. I light the circle. A faint, greenish flame rises, casting grotesque shadows against the walls. I chant the words, strange and jagged, drawn from memory and instinct. The shadows shrink at first, then surge forward in a wave of hunger and anger, clawing at the edges of the flame, their forms twisting impossibly, merging, splitting, merging again. Pain rips through me, sharp and consuming, but I do not falter. The circle holds. The shadows scream in silence, a vibration that shakes the stone under my feet. For a moment, just a moment, I see the outlines of the world as it once was, streets straight and buildings solid, sun a distant memory above it all. And then it collapses. The shadows retreat, but not entirely. They linger at the edges, patient, watching, waiting for the moment I weaken again. The moment I hope. I fall to my knees, trembling, gasping, covered in sweat and soot. I have survived another encounter. I have won a battle. But the war is far from over. The sunless reaches are patient. They always are. And I am learning to be patient too. The shadows do not vanish entirely. I had hoped, foolishly, that the ritual would be enough to drive them back forever, but the sunless reaches are never that kind. The darkness presses against the edges of my mind, shifting, whispering, waiting for me to slip. It is always there, a presence, a feeling, more than just absence. I can hear it sometimes when I sleep, if I sleep too long. The sound of breathing, wet and uneven, the rasping of something that does not belong in this world. It is not me and it is not human, but it is close. Too close. I have not dared to leave the library yet. Not since the ritual. The shadows hover just outside the door, as though they are testing me, waiting for my resolve to crumble. I do not dare to venture too far into the darkened streets. Not yet. The faint green glow of the fungus lantern is all I have for now, and even it is beginning to dim, losing its strength. I should find more, but every step into the unknown brings more danger. Every step brings me closer to something I do not understand, something I may not survive. The book has not given me all the answers. I can feel that much. It only scratches the surface, a mere fragment of knowledge against the vast, roiling sea of darkness I now live in. I can feel the weight of its pages, heavy with secrets I am not ready for. I do not want to understand everything about this place, but I have no choice. The longer I remain in the library, the more the shadows grow restless outside, coiling tighter around the fragile walls that separate me from them. If I do nothing, they will come for me, slowly, patiently, until there is nothing left of me but despair. I do not want to think about that. I cannot. The day or night, I no longer know, drags on, and I find myself pacing restlessly between the ruined shelves. The library is oddly silent now. The usual whispers of movement, of scratching claws or breathless sighs, are gone. I listen, I wait, and I hear nothing but the thumping of my own heart, loud and steady in the oppressive stillness. And then, from the corner of my eye, I catch it, a shape, a movement in the darkness, not far from where I sit. I freeze. My breath catches in my throat. The shadows shift, and I know that they are not alone anymore. I grip the pipe tightly, but my fingers feel numb. The darkness is alive again, and it is not waiting this time. It is coming for me. The figure in the darkness takes form slowly, a silhouette against the black, its shape indistinct, like smoke rising from the earth itself. Its eyes glimmer faintly, tiny pinpricks of light, and I feel them on me. Watching, waiting, cannot move, cannot think. I only stare back, frozen, like prey caught in the gaze of something far older than me. Steps forward and I do not move. I cannot. Are you real? The voice is not a voice at all. It is a thought, a whisper that fills my mind, too loud, too intimate. I blink, and for a moment, I see something else. A face, human but not, distorted, shifting like liquid. It grins at me, and the space between us stretches impossibly wide. Are you afraid? The words reverberate, twisting in my mind, knotting together, pulling at something deep inside of me. I do not answer. I cannot answer. I don't even know what it means to be afraid anymore. It draws closer, its shape becoming more defined. It is not the Watcher. It is smaller, sleeker, its limbs long and spindly. It wears no skin, only darkness, a cloak of blackness that ripples like fabric caught in the wind. Its mouth opens, but there is no sound, no scream, no hiss. Only the feeling of it, like a slow, tightening knot in my chest, the pressure of something that wants to suffocate me from the inside. I raise the pipe, though my hand shakes uncontrollably. Go away, I say, my voice hoarse, barely a whisper against the overwhelming silence. The figure pauses, its head tilting to one side. There is no pity in its eyes, no malice. Only curiosity and hunger, always hunger. Do you think you can fight us? Its thoughts invade my mind, and I wince at the intrusion. Do you think you can survive? I tighten my grip on the pipe and take a step back, though I know it won't help. The shadows are everywhere. There is nowhere left to run. You do not know us, the figure continues. Its voice is softer now, almost soothing, as though trying to lull me into some false sense of safety. You do not understand. You are just a flicker, a spark in the darkness. You will burn out. I laugh, quietly, bitterly. I won't burn out. Not yet. I am surprised at how calm my voice sounds. Surprised that I still have the strength to speak at all. The figure does not reply immediately. It only watches, its eyes glimmering with something I cannot name. Then, with a sudden motion, it steps back into the darkness, disappearing like a wisp of smoke caught in a breeze. I wait for a moment, expecting it to return, expecting it to lunge from the shadows and finish what it started. But it does not. The silence is thick, suffocating, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I let out a shaky breath. I do not know if it has left for good. I do not know what it wanted or why it spared me, but I am not foolish enough to think it is over. Not yet. I know it will come again, and next time it will not be so easy to survive. I pull myself up from the floor, my legs weak from the tension of the encounter. I need to move. I need to keep moving, keep surviving, or else I will be like the others. Just another nameless face in the dark, swallowed by the hunger that surrounds us all. I gather my things, what little I have left, and step cautiously toward the door. The darkness presses against the walls, wrapping itself around me like a living thing, but I push forward, one step at a time. I cannot afford to hesitate. I cannot afford to feel the weight of the shadows on my skin. If I stop, even for a moment, they will find me. I hear something in the distance, a low, guttural sound. Not the soft whisper of the shadows, but a deeper, more resonant noise, like something heavy scraping against stone. It is getting closer. I turn and run. I do not look back. The streets are empty. No figures, no shapes, no flickering lights. Only the oppressive darkness that swallows everything whole. I move through the city, my heart pounding, my breath ragged. The buildings seem to shift as I pass them, walls bending and warping, doors opening and closing where there were none before. The world is breaking down around me, and I feel it in every crack, every splinter of wood, every flicker of light that dies too soon. The sound follows me, growing louder, closer. I round a corner and almost collide with a figure, another survivor. A man, older than me, ragged and wild-eyed. He is holding something, a lantern, though the light it casts is weak, flickering like it might die at any moment. He freezes when he sees me, his expression one of shock, then recognition. "You," he says, his voice hoarse, a rasp like sandpaper. "You're the one who—" His eyes widen, and I can see the terror in them. He knows. He knows what I have done. He knows the shadows are watching me. "You don't have to go back," he says, taking a step back, almost as though he's trying to get away from me. "It's not worth it. The ritual, it only makes them stronger." I stare at him, confused. "What do you mean? You've seen them too?" He nods slowly, a grim expression crossing his face. "I've seen them. They don't care about what you do to fight them. They'll always come back. Always." I shake my head.
No.
"I won't let them take me." He looks at me with a mixture of pity and despair. "You don't understand. You think they care about you? They don't. They want something else. Something deeper." He doesn't finish. He doesn't need to. I see it in his eyes. They are all searching for something, anything to survive. But none of us have the answers. I turn to leave, but the sound grows louder, closer. A scraping noise that fills the air, reverberating through the city. I know what it is now. The Watcher. And it is coming for me. The scraping sound grows louder, reverberating through the streets like an echo of something ancient, something vast and insatiable. The Watcher is close, closer than I've ever felt it before. I can feel its presence like a weight in my chest, a pressure on my skull, as though it is pushing its thoughts into my own. It is coming. I move faster, but my legs are heavy, and every step feels like it takes more effort than the last. The air is thick with a cold that cuts deeper than any winter chill I've known, a biting emptiness that gnaws at the edges of my mind, trying to pull me into itself. The shadows pulse around me, their tendrils reaching, testing, as if they are alive, tasting the air for my fear. I don't dare look behind me. I know what I'll see, nothing. Only the void. The Watcher waits, hidden in that void, but I can feel its eyes on me, watching every move, waiting for me to falter. The man I encountered earlier. His face still lingers in my thoughts, his eyes filled with that same hollow terror I've seen in others. He was right, I realize, though it pains me to admit it. The ritual doesn't work. Can't. The shadows are not something that can be fought, not in any way we understand. They are not creatures. They are the Reaches themselves. A living, breathing, eternal thing that has consumed everything, the light, the warmth, the sun. And we, the survivors, are merely insects caught in its jaws, scurrying to avoid being crushed. I don't know what the shadows want. Or rather, I do not want to know. I have seen the faces of the lost in their depths. Eyes wide and unblinking, mouths open in a scream that never reaches the surface. I've seen what happens to those who are taken. They vanish into the darkness, leaving behind only hollow shells. A flicker of light catches my eye. At first, I think it is the lantern of the man I just saw, but when I turn, I see something else. A small, dimly glowing figure standing in the distance. It's too far for me to reach, too far for me to see clearly, but it is a figure, a living, breathing thing. I take a step toward it, but the scraping sound intensifies, like claws on stone, and I know that the watcher is almost here. I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck prickle as the darkness presses against my skin, as though it wants to absorb me, to pull me into its fold. I should run. I should keep moving. But something in me, some desperate spark of hope, compels me to move toward the figure. The figure steps forward, the glow intensifying. I squint, trying to make sense of it. At first, it seems too small to be real, too fragile to exist in this world of endless night. But as it draws closer, I see that it is a child. A small child, no older than 5 or 6, with pale skin that seems to shimmer in the darkness like moonlight on water. Their eyes are wide, too wide, black pits that reflect nothing but emptiness. They are not human, not anymore. My heart skips a beat. How is this possible? Help me, the child says, their voice soft and high-pitched, like the wind whispering through cracks in the earth. The sound wraps around me, warm and inviting, and for a moment, I forget everything. The watcher, the shadows, the crushing weight of despair that hovers over me. I take a step closer. Where are your parents? I ask, my voice trembling with the need to protect this fragile spark of life, of something human. The child doesn't answer. They simply tilt their head, as though studying me with an intensity one can't understand. And then, with a sudden motion, they reach out. Not to touch me, no, not yet, but to offer something. A small object, glowing faintly with the same eerie light as their skin. It's a key, simple, metallic, but beautiful in its own way. I hesitate, my fingers inches from the key. Should I take it? What if this is another trick? Before I can make my decision, the air shifts. The silence is broken by a low, rumbling growl. The shadows writhe around me, thickening, coiling, closing in on the child. The child's face changes. The softness vanishes, replaced by something darker, something hollow. Their mouth opens wide, impossibly wide, revealing a row of sharp, needle-like teeth, dripping with something that smells faintly of iron. The key begins to glow brighter, its light flickering like a dying star. Take it. The child's voice changes, becoming deep, guttural, the whisper of something ancient, something monstrous. Take it, and you will belong. I jerk back, instinctively, but my hand still hovers near the key. My chest tightens as the shadows press against me, suffocating, consuming, pulling at the edges of my thoughts. No, not this, not now. I hear the scraping again. Closer. The watcher is here. I turn and run, not waiting to see what happens to the child or the key. I don't even look back. I can hear the child's distorted laugh behind me, the sound of it like claws scraping across glass. I don't stop running. The city is a maze of twisted streets and half-collapsed buildings. Every turn, every corner feels like a trick, another illusion, another snare. The darkness stretches and warps, swallowing the faint light from my fungus lantern, leaving me blind. I have no sense of direction, no clear path. I just keep moving. The scraping sound grows louder with every step, and I know I am being hunted. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. I collapse behind a pile of rubble, breathing hard, my chest tight. I hold the lantern up, but its light is barely a flicker now, like a candle in a storm. The shadows are closing in, and I can feel their hunger, feel them crawling under my skin. The fear rises like bile in my throat, and then I hear it. A sound so faint, so distant, it's almost lost to the wind. A voice. It's a whisper at first, so soft that I think I'm imagining it. But then it repeats louder this time. Come. I freeze, my body rigid, every nerve on fire. It's not the voice of the child. It's something else. A new presence. I can feel it, just beyond the veil of shadows. Something larger, something older, watching me. Come, the voice repeats. It is a command, not a plea. I don't move. I know better than to answer. But the voice calls again, stronger, more insistent this time. It claws at the edges of my mind, threading through my thoughts like a serpent winding its way through the cracks of my sanity. The shadows are growing thicker, denser, wrapping around me like a cocoon, suffocating. I can feel the pressure building in my chest, my lungs aching, my heart pounding like a drum. And then I see it, just at the corner of my vision. A shape moving through the darkness, gliding like smoke, tall and terrible. The Watcher has found me. It's standing just outside the light of my lantern, its molten eyes glowing with that same cold, unfeeling hunger. Cannot move, cannot breathe. Come. It whispers, its voice 1,000 voices, each one older than the last. I know I have no choice. I must answer. I must go toward it. I don't want to. Every part of me screams in rebellion. But the darkness is too strong, too powerful. The shadows tug at my skin, pulling me forward, urging me to obey. And I take a step, then another. The Watcher's eyes flicker, and I feel the last of my resistance slip away. I step into the dark. I step forward. My feet move on their own, the shadows guiding me, pulling me closer to the Watcher. Its eyes burn brighter now, gleaming like molten metal, unblinking, unfeeling. I know I should turn and run. I know I should fight the compulsion, but the darkness is too thick, too suffocating. I feel it pressing against my mind, a weight I can't push away. My thoughts scatter, slipping through my fingers like water. I can't hold on to anything. I can't breathe. The scraping sound continues, louder now, deafening, as if 1,000 claws are scraping across the walls of my skull. It's not the Watcher alone. There are others, hundreds of them, thousands, all moving, all watching, all waiting. I'm being swallowed, slowly, methodically. There is no escape. There never was. Come, the Watcher repeats. This voice is not a voice at all. It is a thought, a command that echoes through my chest, rattling my bones. Its presence fills my entire being, pushing the very air from my lungs. It is not just here. It is inside me now. It is my heartbeat. It is the pulse in my blood. I want to scream. I want to fight, but I cannot. My body betrays me, moving against my will, toward the creature, toward the thing that watches from the blackness. My feet move with a strange, mechanical precision, and my legs feel like they belong to someone else. I am no longer in control of my own flesh. The Watcher's shape shimmers in the darkness, its form a swirling mass of shadows and light, flickering like an incomplete image, like something torn from the fabric of the world. I cannot make out its true shape, only its eyes. Those eyes, they are the only constant, the only thing that remains unchanging in this shifting void. It speaks again, but this time its voice is not a command. It is a question, one that lingers in the air like a poison, spreading through the space between us. Do you understand? I want to answer. I want to scream at it, to demand answers, to shout that I am not afraid, that I will not be consumed. But my mouth refuses to move. My throat is dry, constricted by fear, by the weight of something greater than fear. The shadows are inside me, crawling beneath my skin, twisting my thoughts into knots, forcing me to listen, forcing me to obey. Takes another step forward, and I am compelled to follow. I don't want to try to fight it, but my body obeys. It's not just the shadows anymore. Something else is at work. Some force, some primal energy, is pulling me into this dark abyss. I try to close my eyes, to shut it out, to block out the terrifying, burning gaze of the Watcher. But even with my eyes closed, I can still feel it. The pressure, the weight of its gaze pressing against my skin. against my mind. It is inescapable. I can feel its presence in the very marrow of my bones, in the pulse of my blood. You will join us, the Watcher says, and I feel the words inside me. Not in my ears, but inside my soul. They curl around me like fingers, digging into my very being. I resist. I fight. I dig my nails into my palms, focusing on the pain, the sharp sting that reminds me I am still here, that I am still alive, even if it feels like everything around me is falling apart. But the shadows close in, pulling tighter and tighter. I can hear them now. Their whispers, their voices, thousands of voices, speaking at once, overlapping, murmuring words that I cannot understand. Their words crawl under my skin, burrowing into my thoughts, reshaping them. I hear fragments of what they are saying, glimpses of things long forgotten. You are not the first. This place is endless. Hope is a lie. You will be one with us. I want to scream, but I cannot. I want to break free, to tear away from this nightmare. But the shadows are too strong, too all-encompassing. They coil around me, tightening like a noose, squeezing the life from my chest, the breath from my lungs. And then, just as I feel I can no longer breathe, there is a shift. The Watcher steps aside, allowing me to move past it. I hesitate, confused. Why is it letting me go? Why doesn't it claim me? Why am I still standing, still breathing? It doesn't answer. The Watcher only watches, its eyes fixed on me with that same burning intensity. And then I realize, the Watcher isn't letting me go. It is leading me. The path ahead of me is dark, so dark that even the shadows seem to shrink away from it, as though they fear what lies ahead. The ground beneath my feet is soft, unstable. It shifts with every step, like I am walking on something that does not belong to this world. The air is thick with the scent of decay, of something ancient and long forgotten. I cannot see anything in front of me. I cannot hear anything except the sound of my own breathing and the soft, scraping noise of the shadows that follow, just behind me. The Watcher moves in front of me, its form shifting in and out of existence, as though it is not entirely part of this world. I can't look at it directly without feeling as if my mind will snap in half. This form is too vast, too alien. It is not of this world. Cannot be. I take another step, my heart pounding in my chest. I want to stop. I want to turn around and run, but I know I can't. The shadows have me in their grip. There is no turning back. There is no escape. We move deeper into the darkness, farther from the light, until the very air around me feels heavy, suffocating. The Watcher moves ahead, its figure barely visible now, fading into the void. And then I hear it, a low, rhythmic sound, like the beating of a heart or the pulsing of a great, ancient engine. It is coming from ahead, from the very core of the reaches. Do you understand now? The Watcher asks, its voice like the distant murmur of thunder. Its presence presses against me, a weight on my chest, pushing down until I can barely breathe. I don't understand. I want to scream at it, to demand an answer, but my throat is dry, tight. I am choking on the darkness. I am choking on the weight of the world around me. And then, just as I feel I cannot go on, the Watcher stops. I stop with it, my legs trembling beneath me, my body on the edge of collapse. Ahead of me, in the heart of the darkness, I see something. A faint glow, flickering, like a dying star. It is not a light. Not really. It is something else. Something ancient. Something that should not be. It is a door. A door in the heart of the darkness. Cannot move. Cannot think. The shadows have me. The Watcher has me. And all I can do is stare at the door, waiting for whatever comes next. I can't move. My feet are frozen, rooted to the ground by the weight of the darkness around me. The door ahead flickers with that faint, dying light, pulsing softly like a heartbeat, distant and cold. It calls to me, not with sound, but with the absence of sound, with the emptiness it carries. The silence presses against my ears, deafening, as though the world itself is holding its breath. The Watcher stands just behind me, its form flickering in and out of existence, as if it cannot fully be here, fully be anywhere. I can feel its eyes on my back, heavy, unblinking. It does not move, does not speak, but I know it is waiting. Waiting for something. I want to ask it what this is, what that door is, why I am here. But the words die in my throat before they even leave my mind. The air around me is thick, heavy with the scent of decay, the remnants of something ancient, something forgotten. It clings to the walls, to the ground, to my skin. I step forward, one tentative movement at a time, though every inch feels like I am crossing some invisible boundary. The shadows seem to shift with me, swirling in a way that is almost alive. The door looms larger as I approach, the edges of it dissolving into the darkness around it. It is not a door in the way I understand it. There is no frame, no handle, just a void, a tear in the fabric of the world itself. I reach out, hand trembling, toward it. The moment my fingers brush against the air in front of the door, I feel it, a pulse, a shock of energy so raw, so primal it makes my skin crawl. It is not just a door. It is a breach, a wound in the very fabric of this place. The watcher is watching, but it does not interfere. It does not stop me. I step through. The world shifts around me, twisting, bending, as if the very laws of reality are being rewritten. My stomach lurches, and I feel as though I am falling, though the ground beneath me is solid. The darkness around me warps, shrinks, and then expands again, like an endless expanse of shifting blackness. And then I hear it. A sound so faint at first that I almost miss it. Whispers. No, not whispers. Voices. Thousands of them. Faint and distant, like echoes from another time, another world. The voices are unintelligible, but I can feel them in my bones, in my blood. They press against my mind, scraping at the edges of my sanity. And then I hear a name I know too well. Marion. I stop. My breath catches in my throat. Marion, my sister, the one who vanished in the dark years ago, swallowed by the shadows. I never found her. I never even found her body. She was just gone. I turn instinctively, but there is nothing behind me. Just the shifting void, endless and unfeeling. The voice calls again, softer this time. Marion. I force myself to stay calm, though my heart is hammering in my chest. The shadows are moving again, swirling around me. They are not just shadows anymore. They are something else, something alive. Alive in a way I cannot understand. I take a step forward, and the air changes again, colder now. I can see something in the distance, faint, barely visible through the swirling blackness. It is a shape, a figure. I want to run. I want to turn and escape this nightmare, but the pull toward the figure is too strong. It is familiar. I feel it deep within me, the recognition of something lost, something that once was. I take another step, and the figure grows clearer. It is a woman, Marion. It is her, I know it is. Her pale face, her dark eyes, wide with fear. Her lips move, but no sound comes out. She reaches toward me, her hand trembling, and I can feel the pull in my chest, as though my soul is being drawn toward her. Marion, I call, my voice a whisper, barely a breath. I reach out, my hands stretching toward her. She stops. Her eyes widen in fear, and she takes a step back. Her hand is still outstretched, but her face is no longer the face I remember. It shifts, twisting, as though something beneath the skin is moving, pulling, warping her features. Her eyes darken, deepening into black pits, her mouth stretching into a grin too wide, too unnatural. The skin around her face begins to crack and peel away, revealing something underneath. A darkness, a void, a shadow that pulses like a heartbeat, growing larger, swallowing her. No, I say, taking a step back, my heart pounding. This is not her. This is not Marion. This is something else, something pretending to be her. The figure grins wider, its face twisting into an inhuman mask of hunger. The shadows around it writhe and coil, reaching for me, pulling at the edges of my mind. The voice that had called my name echoes again, but this time, it is not just Marian's voice. It is a chorus of voices, thousands of them, all speaking my name, all calling to me, pulling at me, twisting my thoughts. Join us. They whisper, their voices overlapping, rising in a cacophony that drowns out all other sounds. Become one with us. I scream, but the sound is swallowed by the void. Cannot hear it, cannot feel it. I only feel the shadows, the weight of them pressing against me, inside me. I try to move, to fight, but my legs betray me. I fall to my knees, the darkness crawling beneath my skin, filling me, suffocating me. I can feel it now, the pull, the hunger, the emptiness. It is not just around me. It is in me. It has always been inside me. Do you understand? The voice asks again. The Watcher's voice. It echoes through my mind, resonating deep within my bones. It is not a question. It is a command. You are not separate. You were never separate. I close my eyes, trying to block it out, trying to fight the suffocating pressure of the shadows around me. But there is no escape. There was never any escape. The Watcher is right. I am not separate from this place. I am a part of it. I always have been. The darkness tightens its grip. It wraps around my body, my soul, until I can no longer breathe, no longer think. I am nothing, just another fragment of the reaches, another piece of the void. And then, as I feel myself slipping into the endless dark, I hear a final whisper, a whisper that is both the beginning and the end. Welcome home. I don't know how long I've been here. Time has ceased to matter in this place. It feels like I've been standing at the edge of the abyss for an eternity, caught in the pull of something vast, something endless, something that has no beginning and no end. The shadows have taken me. They have consumed me, wrapped themselves around my body, my mind. I can feel them deep within me, like a second heartbeat, like a pulse I can no longer ignore. They are part of me now, part of the reaches. The door, the one that led me here, is gone. The shape of it has dissolved, swallowed by the darkness. All that remains is the figure of Marian, or what was once Marian. Standing before me, her twisted grin wide and hungry. Her black eyes burn through me, and I can feel the weight of her gaze, crushing, suffocating. She is no longer human. I know that now. She is a part of this place, a shadow, a reflection of something that was once alive. Her face shifts constantly, warping like melting wax, too fluid to hold any shape. The woman I knew is long gone. All that remains is this thing. But I cannot look away, cannot move. The darkness is inside me now, and every step I take is a step deeper into it. You understand now, don't you? Marian's voice comes from her, but it is not her voice. It is the voice of the reaches, the voice of the void, cold and distant and full of hunger. You are one of us. You were always one of us. No, I whisper, though it feels like my voice comes from someone else's throat. I was never one of you. I'm not like you. The figure in front of me laughs, though it sounds like 1,000 voices blending into one. It is a laughter that grates against my skull, a sound that feels like nails on glass. Oh, but you are. You always were. You just didn't know it. I want to scream. I want to shout that I'm not one of them, that I don't belong here, but the words die in my throat, swallowed by the overwhelming weight of the reaches. The shadows coil around me, tightening with each passing second, pulling at the edges of my thoughts. I can feel them now, feel the countless eyes of the void watching, waiting. I am not alone. I am part of something far larger than myself, something that has always been there, watching and waiting for me to fall. The darkness calls to you, Marian's voice says again, softer this time, almost coaxing. It has always been there, deep inside you, waiting for you to find it, to remember. I close my eyes, trying to block it out, trying to stop the words from taking root in my mind. But the darkness is persistent. It worms its way into my thoughts, pushing aside everything I've ever known, everything I've ever believed. You were never meant to survive, Marion continues, her voice dripping with an awful kind of sweetness. None of us were. We are all part of the Reaches. All of us, tied to it in ways we cannot understand. The darkness tightens around me, choking the breath from my lungs. I feel it seeping into my veins, into my very soul. I am becoming part of it. I can feel it deep inside me. The cold emptiness of the Reaches is consuming me, drowning me in its void. I try to resist, but my body betrays me. I feel my hands tremble, my limbs grow weak. The shadows are inside me, pulling at me, bending me to their will. And then, with a sudden jolt, I am somewhere else. The world around me shifts again, and I am no longer standing in the darkness. I am somewhere else. The air is different here. It is thick and musty, heavy with the scent of rotting wood and decay. I can see the outlines of structures in the distance, tall, jagged buildings that seem to have been made from the bones of the earth itself. The ground beneath my feet is soft and wet, as though I am standing in some ruined city long abandoned. But it is not the city that holds my attention. It is what lies ahead. There is a figure standing in the center of the ruins. A tall figure, cloaked in shadow, its form indistinct, like smoke, like an apparition from another world. It is not the Watcher, but it is something else, something just as ancient, just as terrible. I can feel its presence pressing down on me, its gaze burning into my soul, even though I cannot see its eyes. The air grows colder. The figure does not move, does not speak, but I know it is waiting for me. I take a step forward, my body moving without my consent. The shadows shift around me, crawling beneath my skin, urging me forward, deeper into the ruins. You have come far, a voice says, though it does not come from the figure, comes from all around me. The voice is soft, almost kind, like a whisper in the wind. But there is a cruelty in it, a deep and unsettling malice. But you have not yet learned the truth. The figure moves, slowly, and as it steps forward, the ground beneath me trembles. It is not a tremor caused by an earthquake or the shifting of stone. No, this is something else, something more profound. The very fabric of this place is quivering, as though the world itself is coming apart. You were born to this. The voice grows louder, more insistent. You are a child of the Reaches. You have always been one of us. I try to speak, to ask questions, but my throat is dry, my words lost in the overwhelming presence of the voice. Cannot breathe. The darkness is everywhere, pressing in from all sides. I feel the weight of it, the suffocating pressure of it, like 1,000 unseen hands crushing me. You will not escape, the voice says, and this time, it is not a whisper. It is a command, a declaration of fate. You are ours. You always have been. I stumble back, my vision blurring, my mind spinning. I want to run. I want to escape. But the shadows are everywhere, and there is nowhere left to hide. The figure moves closer, its form growing clearer now, its features becoming more defined. It is not human. It is something older, something darker, something that should never have existed. It is a manifestation of the Reaches itself. A creature born of shadow and void, a being that has lived in the cracks between worlds for longer than time itself. We are the Reaches, the voice says, its tone filled with ancient power. We are the dark, the void, the absence. And you are our child. The ground shakes again, and I fall to my knees, my hands pressed against the earth, my chest heaving with terror. The shadows coil around me, tightening, constricting, until I can feel nothing but their cold, suffocating grip. We have waited for you. The voice is now a chorus, 1,000 voices speaking in unison, their words melding together in a terrifying harmony. And now you are here. Welcome home. Cannot breathe. Cannot think. I can only feel the darkness wrapping around me, pulling me deeper into the void, pulling me into its endless, suffocating depths. And then, just as I feel myself slipping away, I hear a voice. It is not the voice of the Reaches. It is my own. No, and in that moment, something snaps. The shadows that have been consuming me recoil, as though they have been struck by a blow. The world around me flickers, the edges of reality bending and twisting. No, I say again, more forcefully this time, though my voice trembles with the weight of everything that has been happening. The figure before me, the thing that is not Marion, the thing that is not human, stops moving. It does not speak. It only watches. I take another step back, then another. And then, in a burst of strength, I turn and run. I run as though my life depends on it because I know it does. The ground shakes again as I sprint, the shadows howling in my ears, but I do not look back. I cannot. I push myself forward, deeper into the darkness, away from the things that want to claim me, that want to drag me back into the void. I do not know how long I run. I do not know where I am going. All I know is that I cannot stop. And as I run, I can feel it. The reaches are still with me. They are inside me, and they will never let me go. I run. I don't know where I'm going anymore. I only know that I cannot stop, cannot let the darkness catch me. The ground beneath my feet shakes with every step, as if the very earth is alive, shifting, warping with every breath I take. I can feel the shadows closing in, their whispers clawing at the edges of my mind. They are following me, not with speed, but with inevitability. I should have known. I should have realized that there is no running from this place. There is no escaping it. The reaches are a part of me now, and no matter how fast I run, no matter how far I flee, I will never be free of it. My lungs burn with each gasping breath. I can feel the cold in my chest, spreading, wrapping around my heart, as though the very air here is trying to freeze me from the inside out. The shadows stretch and writhe beneath my feet, swirling like living things, waiting for the moment when I trip, when I stumble. The watcher's eyes burn in the darkness, always watching, always waiting. I don't dare look back. I can't afford to. Every step I take feels like a betrayal, like I am running away from something I should be facing, something I should be embracing. But I am not ready. I am not ready to face the truth. And yet, the reaches are patient. They have always been patient. The voices return, faint at first, but growing louder with each passing second. The whispers in the dark, the echoes of 1,000 lost souls, their words blending together in a cacophony of dread. Some of the voices are familiar. Recognize them even though I cannot place them. My parents, my friends, Marion, they are all here, all lost to the shadows. I can feel them pulling at me, tugging at the very fabric of my mind. They want me to stop, to listen, to give in. They want me to join them in the darkness. You cannot outrun us. One of the voices says, its tone soft and insidious, you were always meant to be one of us. I shake my head, trying to block out the words, trying to push the voices away. But they are inside me now. I can feel them crawling beneath my skin, worming their way into my thoughts, pulling at the threads of my sanity. Come back, another voice whispers. It's too late for you to run. You belong here. You always have. I scream, but the sound is swallowed by the darkness. The shadows coil tighter around me, and I can feel them tugging at my limbs, trying to drag me down, pull me into the void.
My legs are saken.
My body is growing weaker with each step, but I cannot stop. I can't let them win. The ground beneath me shifts again. The earth trembles with a low, ominous hum. I stumble, my foot catching on something unseen, and I fall forward, crashing to the ground. The impact knocks the wind out of me, and for a moment, I lie there, gasping, struggling to breathe, my chest burning. I try to push myself up, but my arms won't cooperate. The shadows are pulling at me now, crawling up my legs, wrapping around my torso, their cold tendrils pressing against my skin. I can feel them sliding into me, invading my thoughts, my body, turning me into something other, something wrong. I can't breathe. The weight of the shadows is suffocating, crushing the life out of me. I am drowning in darkness, my mind racing, but there is no escape, no way out. You cannot fight what you are. The voice says again, its tone mocking, cold. You are a part of this. You always have been. I force myself to my feet, my body trembling with exhaustion, my vision blurred by the tears that threaten to spill from my eyes. The darkness is all around me now, but I will not let it claim me. I will not let it take me. I close my eyes, focusing on my breath. The darkness is inside me, yes. It has always been inside me. But that doesn't mean I have to let it win. I reach deep inside myself, searching for something. Anything. A spark of defiance. A shred of will. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know I need it now. I need something to keep me from falling into the void. And then I find it. It is faint, almost imperceptible at first. A flicker of warmth, a pulse of light. It is small, fragile, but it is enough. I hold on to it. The darkness shrinks back, just a little, but it is enough to give me room to breathe. The whispers fade, replaced by a quiet, steady heartbeat. My own. I focus on it, using it as a tether, something to hold on to in the overwhelming blackness. For the first time since I entered the reaches, I feel a flicker of something like hope. It is fragile, like a candle in a storm, but it is there, and that is enough. The shadows recoil just for a moment, but I know it won't last. The reaches are patient, and they will not let me go easily. But I am not giving up yet. I won't. I take a deep breath and push forward, forcing myself to move. The ground beneath me is still shifting, the darkness still pressing in, but I keep walking. One step, then another. Slowly, carefully. The air grows colder as I move deeper into the void, but I don't stop. The whispers return, louder this time, more insistent, but I don't listen. I cannot afford to. The shadows are everywhere, but they are not me. They cannot have me. Not yet. Not while I am still breathing. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what lies ahead. But I know one thing. Cannot stop. The path ahead is uncertain, and the darkness continues to claw at me, trying to drag me back into its depths. But with each step, I feel myself pulling further away from it, pushing it back, if only for a moment. The more I move, the weaker the grip of the shadows becomes. And as I walk, I begin to realize something. Something I should have understood all along. The reaches do not just feed on despair. They do not just consume the light. They feed on choice. On the decisions we make, the paths we take, the way we choose to face the darkness. The reaches are not the void. They are not just the shadows. They are the decisions we make when we are alone, when we are afraid. They are the choices that define us in the face of nothingness. I do not know how long I walk. The darkness stretches on forever, and I feel the weight of the reaches pressing against me with every step. But the light within me, however small it may be, burns brighter. And for the first time, I feel something close to strength. The reaches will never release me completely. They will never stop calling. But I will not be consumed by them. I will not be lost. And with that thought, I step forward, deeper into the heart of the darkness, into the unknown. I walk. I don't know how long I've been walking, but the reaches stretch out in every direction, an endless horizon of nothingness. The weight of the shadows is pressing against me with every step, suffocating me, filling my lungs with the cold, oppressive air. Every breath feels like I'm inhaling the darkness itself, and I can feel it in my chest, a pressure that makes it harder to breathe, harder to think. The light I found, that small flicker of warmth inside me, is still there, but it is faint now. It flickers like a candle struggling against the wind. I can feel it wavering with every step I take, and I know that if I lose it, I will be consumed by the void. I can hear the whispers again. The voices that once felt so distant, so far away, are now close. Too close. They buzz in my ears, pressing against my skull, speaking words I can't understand, but that don't need to be understood to tear at my mind. The voices overlap, melding together into a symphony of anguish, of pain, of loss. I can feel my grip on reality starting to slip. The shadows are moving, shifting, like they're alive. They stretch out toward me, crawling across the ground, creeping along the walls, reaching for my hands, my feet, my very soul. I know they want me, They want to pull me into the darkness, to drown me in the void, to make me one of them. Come back. One of the voices calls, soft, like a whisper on the wind. We're waiting for you. Come back to the darkness. I can feel the pull in my chest, like an invisible hand clutching at my heart, trying to drag me back. It's not just the darkness outside me. It's inside me too, twisting my thoughts, making me question myself, making me question everything. But I won't go back. I can't. I won't let the shadows take me. I push forward, forcing myself to keep walking. Every step feels like a battle, like I'm wading through molasses, struggling against the weight of the darkness that presses down on me, suffocating me. But I keep moving. There's something ahead. I can't see it, but I feel it. There's a presence, a force that is different from the reaches. It's pulling me forward, drawing me deeper into the void. It is a cold, ancient power that resonates in my bones, in the very marrow of my being. It is the source of the darkness, the heart of the reaches, and I can feel it calling to me. Come closer. The voice murmurs again, this time clearer, more insistent. You know what lies ahead. You know what is waiting for you. The shadows twist around my legs, climbing up my body, pressing in from all sides. I can feel them, feel their hunger, their need to consume me, to absorb me into the void. But I will not stop. I will not let them win. I push forward, each step harder than the last. The whispers are growing louder, more frantic. The shadows are crawling faster, their cold fingers grazing my skin, but I keep moving. I can feel the weight of their gaze, the pressure of their presence, and I can feel the watcher behind me, its eyes fixed on my back. I do not turn. I will not look back. I reach a clearing, or at least I think it's a clearing. The darkness here is different. It's deeper, more suffocating. The air is thick with the smell of something old, something long dead. The shadows are thicker here, swirling in patterns that feel deliberate, like something is watching me, studying me, waiting for me to make a move. In the center of the clearing, I see it. A shape, a door. Not a physical door, not one of wood or stone, but a tear in the fabric of the darkness. It is a swirling vortex of blackness, a rift in the very reality of the reaches. It pulses with a dark energy, radiating a power that makes my skin crawl. You have found it, the voice says again, and this time it sounds pleased, almost triumphant. You have come to the heart of the darkness, the reaches, your destiny. I step closer, though every fiber of my being is screaming at me to turn back. The shadows are closing in on me now, surrounding me, wrapping around me. I feel their cold fingers digging into my mind, pulling at my thoughts, trying to tear them apart, to break me. The rift in the darkness pulses again, sending a wave of cold, raw power through me. It is a wave that knows me. It feels like it's pulling something deep from within me, something buried, something hidden. I can feel it clawing at the edges of my consciousness, like a memory I can't quite reach, like a truth I've been running from. The air grows colder. I shiver, my breath coming out in sharp, ragged gasps. I reach out, almost against my will, my fingers brushing the edge of the rift. The moment I touch it, a flood of images rushes through me. Images of a life I don't remember, a world I don't know. I see flashes of faces, of places, of moments that feel impossibly distant. I see Marion, her face twisted in agony, and I see myself, standing on the edge of this very place, staring into the void. The memories flood me, overwhelming me. I see my own past, but it is fractured, distorted, like looking through a broken mirror. There are gaps in the memories, parts of my life that don't make sense, things I can't remember, things that don't fit. You are one of us, the voice says again, and this time, it is not just a whisper. It is a scream, a shriek that tears at the fabric of my mind. You always were. I stagger back, my hand pulling away from the rift. The memories stop. The flood of images recedes, leaving only a lingering sense of dread, a feeling of something terribly wrong. I feel sick. I feel dizzy. My mind is reeling from the onslaught of images, of memories that don't make sense, of truths I'm not ready to face. The shadows are closing in again, their whispers growing louder, more frantic, their cold fingers tugging at me, pulling me back toward the rift. You cannot escape it, the voice says, softer now, more soothing. You are one of us. You always were. I shake my head, my body trembling. The shadows are everywhere now, surrounding me, crawling across the ground, creeping up my legs. I can feel them pulling at my mind, at my very soul. The rift in front of me is calling me again, pulling me closer, drawing me into it. But I cannot let it win. I won't let it. I take a step back, then another. My legs are shaking beneath me, but I push forward. I am not one of them. I am not part of this place. I will not give in to the darkness. The rift pulses again, its power pressing against me, pulling at me, trying to drag me in. But I won't let it. I won't let the darkness take me. I have come too far. I have fought too hard. You cannot outrun the reaches. The voice says one last time, its tone filled with cold inevitability. We will always be with you. We will always be inside you. But I don't listen. I can't. With everything I have left, I turn away from the rift. I don't look back. The darkness is still all around me, but I am stronger than it now. I keep walking. One step, then another. The path is unclear. The darkness still surrounds me, but I will not stop. I don't stop. I can't afford to. Each step I take feels like I am crossing a threshold, like I am walking deeper into some labyrinth from which there is no return. The darkness is thick here, suffocating, and the air is colder, sharper, as though it is alive and breathing, pressing in on all sides. The weight of the reaches is relentless, pulling at my skin, crawling beneath my flesh, sinking into the very marrow of my bones. I try to focus on the small light within me, that fragile flicker of warmth that I found earlier. It is still there, but it is weaker now, almost gone, swallowed by the crushing darkness. I can feel it flickering like a dying star, struggling against the void. But I hold on. I cling to it with everything I have left. The whispers return, louder now, their voices overlapping, colliding in a cacophony of maddening sound. They claw at my mind, at my thoughts, pulling me in all directions. I can hear them calling to me, urging me to stop, to give in, to let them take me. You cannot fight us. One voice says, low and menacing. You are one of us. You always were. Come back. Another whispers, softer this time. You cannot escape the reaches. We will always be here, waiting for you. I close my eyes, squeezing them shut against the pressure. But the voices don't stop. They are inside me now, buried beneath my skin, echoing in the deepest parts of my mind. I can feel them, feel their presence in every corner of my consciousness, pulling at me, sinking into me. It is not just the reaches that want me. It is everything in this place. Every shadow, every fragment of darkness. They are all part of me now. I want to scream, to shout that I am not one of them, that I am not part of this twisted reality. But I cannot speak. The words are trapped in my throat, caught by the weight of the shadows pressing against me. I force my eyes open again, and I keep walking. It's all I can do. I don't know where I am going. I don't know what lies ahead, but I cannot stop. If I stop, the darkness will consume me. If I stop, I will become one of them. The ground beneath my feet shifts again, and I stumble. The void is shifting too, warping in strange ways that make my skin crawl. I can feel the pull of it, like a giant hand stretching out to drag me back. I can feel the weight of the watcher behind me, its unseen eyes boring into my back, watching, waiting. It is always there, even when I cannot see it. It is part of the reaches, part of the darkness. And it is part of me. I push forward, forcing myself to take another step, and another. The air grows colder with each movement, the shadows becoming thicker, more oppressive. The very ground beneath me seems to pulse with a low, resonating hum, as though the world itself is alive, breathing in time with the darkness. And then I see it, a shape, a silhouette, barely visible against the endless void, standing at the center of the path ahead. It is tall, indistinct, like a shadow cast by something that should not exist. I can feel the presence of it, like a weight pressing down on me, choking the air from my lungs. I stop. I don't want to move any closer. I know what this is. I know what it represents. The Watcher. I can feel it now in the deepest parts of my mind. It is not a creature in the way that I understand creatures. It is not something with a body, with form. It is a presence, a force, a thought that has been embedded in the fabric of this place. The Watcher is the Reaches. It is the darkness, the void, the absence of light, the hunger that devours everything in its path. It is the thing that has been pulling me here, guiding me, feeding on my fear, on my hope. It is the one who has been speaking to me all along, whispering in my ear, planting the seeds of doubt in my mind. You cannot escape. The voice of the Watcher says, its tone soft, soothing, almost comforting. You are part of this place. You always have been. I shake my head, but the words echo in my mind, over and over, like a mantra, like a truth that I cannot deny. You are one of us. The voice continues, its tone growing colder, sharper. You always were. The shadows grow thicker around me, closing in on all sides. They stretch toward me like tendrils, wrapping around my body, pulling at my skin, digging into my thoughts. I can feel them now, feel the void pressing against me, filling my lungs, filling my heart. The Reaches are inside me, and they are never letting go. I stumble backward, but there is nowhere to go. The shadows are everywhere, the Watcher is everywhere. There is no escaping it. You belong to us, the voice says, its tone now heavy with finality. You were always meant to be part of this. You cannot fight it. I close my eyes, trying to block it out, trying to push the words away. But they are inside me, gnawing at my mind, at my soul. I feel myself slipping, feel myself being drawn into the void, into the darkness that has been waiting for me all along. But there is something, a flicker of resistance, deep inside me. It is faint, fragile, but it is there. It is the last shred of my humanity, the last thread of my will, and it is all I have left. With every ounce of strength I have, I push forward, stepping into the darkness, toward the Watcher, toward the heart of the Reaches. No, I whisper, though my voice is barely a breath. I will not be one of you. The Watcher's presence presses against me, but I don't stop. The shadows are screaming in my ears, pulling at my body, but I keep moving, inch by inch. I will not stop. I will not let it win. The world around me begins to flicker, like the edges of a dream slipping away, like the very fabric of reality is unraveling. The shadows pull harder, the weight of the darkness growing heavier, but I keep walking. I don't know where this path will lead me. I don't know if I will ever escape the Reaches, but I know one thing. I will not stop. I will not give in. The darkness is inside me. It has always been inside me, but it is not me. It will never be me. And with that thought, I take another step forward, deeper into the heart of the void. I am walking through a storm of shadows. It is not like the darkness I've encountered before, not like the choking emptiness that surrounded me at the beginning. No, this is different. This is deeper. The air is thick, like tar, and every breath feels like I'm swallowing the void itself. The shadows are no longer just things that exist outside of me. They are part of me now, woven into my very being. I feel them crawling beneath my skin, feeling like a second heartbeat, pulsing in time with my own. They are inside me. They are me. The weight of the Reaches presses against me from all sides, the oppressive darkness trying to consume every part of me, every shred of who I was before I stepped into this place. The whispers are louder now, more insistent, their voices filling my head, clawing at my thoughts. You are part of this place. They chant, 1,000 voices blending together into one. You always were. You cannot escape. I want to scream. I want to lash out, to push the darkness away. But it is part of me now. I can feel it in the deepest parts of myself. The darkness is not something separate from me anymore. It is a part of my mind, of my soul. The reaches have rooted themselves inside me, dug deep into my consciousness, feeding on my fear, on my despair, on my dreams. And yet I walk. The path is unclear, winding in ways that don't make sense, twisting through a landscape that shifts and warps as I move. The shadows form shapes as I pass, ephemeral figures that flicker at the edges of my vision, then disappear into the blackness. The shapes are not important. It is not the physical world that matters anymore. It is the world of the mind, the world of the reaches, where the boundaries between self and darkness blur. The Watcher is with me. I can feel its presence behind me, just out of sight, its unseen eyes following me, studying me. Its whispers are constant, a soft murmur in the back of my mind, guiding me, urging me forward. You have come so far, the Watcher says, its voice a low hum, almost comforting. You have crossed into the heart of the reaches. You are one with it now. No, I whisper, my voice shaking. I'm not like you. I won't become one with this thing. The Watcher laughs. It is a soft, hollow sound, like the rustling of dry leaves in an empty wind. You already have, it says. You always have. You just didn't know it. The darkness was inside you long before you stepped into this place. It was always a part of you, waiting for the moment when you would find it. I stumble, my feet catching on nothing, and I fall to the ground. My chest tightens with the weight of the darkness pressing in on me. I can feel it, feel the shadow creeping deeper inside me, like it's trying to consume me from the inside out. The air feels heavier, colder, as though the very essence of this place is wrapping around my heart, squeezing, suffocating me. I push myself up, gasping for breath. The darkness is clawing at me, but I will not let it win. I won't let it define me. You're wrong, I say, my voice barely a whisper. I won't be like you. I won't. But the words sound hollow even to me. I can hear the doubt in my voice, the fear, the hesitation. The reaches are inside me now. They are a part of my thoughts, of my very essence. I can feel them taking root deeper, unraveling the fabric of who I once was, blurring the line between who I was and what I am becoming. I stand up again, forcing my legs to move, to keep walking. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how far this path leads, but I cannot stop. I cannot give in to the darkness, no matter how much it wants to claim me. And then I see it, the clearing. It appears suddenly, like a vision, like it's been there all along, waiting for me. The shadows around me shift, parting to reveal the space ahead. The air is still, heavy with the weight of an unseen presence, and I know without looking that the Watcher is there. It is standing in the center of the clearing, waiting for me. I take a step forward and the world shifts. The edges of reality bend, like the very fabric of existence is being pulled taut. The clearing, the ground beneath my feet, the shadows all begin to distort, like they are warping into something unnatural. The Watcher stands before me, a tall, indistinct figure, its form constantly shifting, like smoke caught in a wind that cannot be seen. Its eyes, if they can be called eyes, burn with an intensity that feels like they are tearing into my very soul. You have come far, the Watcher says, its voice deep and resonant, filling the space around me. You have crossed into the heart of the reaches. You have found the darkness within yourself. And now you will see the truth. No, I say again, my voice shaking, but louder this time with more conviction. I won't let you take me. The Watcher's form flickers as though it's laughing, but the sound is not a laugh. It is a deep, resonant hum, vibrating through the air, through my very bones. The shadows around me swell, swirling like a storm, pushing against me, pressing in from all sides. You cannot resist, the Watcher says. It was always meant to be this way. The reaches are inside you. You have always been part of this place. The darkness closes in again, thicker this time, suffocating. I can feel it pulling at me, drawing me closer to the Watcher, drawing me deeper into the void. The pressure is unbearable, and for a moment, I feel my strength wavering. I feel the pull of it, the temptation to let go, to stop resisting. But then I remember the light, the small, fragile spark that I've been holding on to. It is still there, flickering weakly, but it is enough. Enough to keep me from sinking into the void. Enough to keep me from losing myself completely. I reach for it. I dig deep within myself, pulling at that fragile light, nurturing it, feeding it with every ounce of strength I have left. The darkness claws at me, pulls at me, but I push back, forcing the light to burn brighter, to push the shadows away. And slowly, inch by inch, I feel the pressure ease. The weight of the darkness recedes, just for a moment. The watcher's presence falters, just for an instant. But that moment is enough. I step forward, moving toward the watcher, toward the heart of the reaches, not with fear, but with defiance. The shadows swirl around me, trying to pull me back, but I push them aside, each step firm and determined. I am not one of you, I say, louder this time, my voice steady with conviction. I am not part of the darkness. I am not yours. The watcher's form flickers again, its shape becoming more unstable, more distorted. The shadows around me shudder, as though they are losing their hold on me, and the air grows lighter, if only by a fraction. I take another step, and the world around me trembles. I don't stop. The darkness presses harder now, as if the very weight of the reaches is about to crush me. The watcher's form flickers in front of me, its eyes burning with an intensity that feels as though they're piercing through my very soul. The shadows around me are thicker than ever, swirling like a storm, pulling at my limbs, at my thoughts. They want me. They want to consume me. They want me to surrender. But I won't. I won't let them. I reach deep within myself, searching for that faint flicker of light. It is still there, faint and fragile, but it burns brighter with each passing second. I feel the warmth of it in the pit of my stomach, like a steady flame that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how strong the wind blows. It is the last piece of me that the darkness cannot touch, the last part of me that is still mine. I take another step forward, my heart pounding, my breath ragged. The shadows lash at me, wrapping around my legs, pulling at my arms, but I do not stop. I will not give in to them. Not now. Not after everything. The watcher's form shudders again, like a distorted shadow in the wind, but it does not retreat. Instead, it grows larger, more imposing, its presence filling the space around me, closing in. It is everywhere now, its voice in the air, its eyes in my mind. I can feel it in the very marrow of my bones, the weight of its power pressing against me. The reaches are alive with it, its hunger, its presence, its need to consume. You cannot escape, the watcher says, its voice low, almost sorrowful. You cannot outrun what you are. You have always been part of this place. You always will be. No, I say, my voice hoarse but stronger now. I am not one of you. I am not part of this darkness. The watcher tilts its head, its form shifting, the shadows swirling around it like an inky cloud. Its voice is soft, almost soothing. You are a part of the reaches. You always have been. The darkness inside you, the fear, the despair, the emptiness. It has been there since the beginning. You cannot fight it forever. I won't fight it. I say, my words steady now, my gaze unwavering. I will accept it, but I will not be consumed by it. I will not become part of the void. For a moment, the world around me is silent. The shadows seem to still, as though holding their breath, waiting. The watcher's form flickers once more, and I can feel its eyes on me, piercing through me, trying to read my thoughts, trying to tear apart my resolve. But I do not falter. The watcher laughs. It is not a mocking laugh. It is something else, something darker, more ancient. A sound that reverberates through the very fabric of the reaches, like a tremor in the earth itself. You do not understand, it says. The reaches are not a prison. They are not something to escape from. They are a part of you. They are the darkness within you that you cannot deny. The void you feel, the emptiness you fight so hard against. It is the same thing that keeps you alive. The reaches are your true nature. You cannot run from that. I'm not running, I say, my voice firm, though my insides feel like they're unraveling. I'm facing it. I'm choosing to face it. But I won't let it consume me. I won't let it define me. The Watcher's presence grows colder, more oppressive. The air around me shudders with an unnatural tension, and the shadows seem to close in, squeezing me tighter with every breath. I can feel the darkness wrapping around my chest, suffocating, but the light inside me, small and flickering though it may be, burns brighter. I will not be consumed. I whisper, my voice a trembling promise. For a moment the Watcher does not speak. The silence is unbearable, stretching out, as if the very world is waiting for the next move, for the final decision. The shadows swirl around me, pulling at my thoughts, at my very being, but I focus on the light within me. I focus on that fragile spark that refuses to die. And then the Watcher speaks again. You think you are strong, that you can resist the darkness, but you are only delaying the inevitable. The reaches are within you, and you will never be free. You will never escape it. It is not just a place, not just a void. It is you. No, I say more firmly this time. I am me. I am not the reaches. I am not the darkness. I am something more. The Watcher's form flickers, warping and shifting like a smoke, but it does not retreat. You cannot deny your nature. No, I say, my voice quiet but certain. I can accept it, but it does not define me. For a long moment the world seems to hold its breath. The shadows still, the very air around me thickening with the weight of the Watcher's gaze. I can feel its presence pressing in from all sides, trying to crush me, trying to make me doubt myself, make me question the truth I've found within myself. But I won't waver. I won't let it. I choose who I am. I whisper, the words barely a breath, but they feel like a declaration. And I choose not to be consumed. The Watcher shudders, its form flickering, warping like a reflection in broken glass. The darkness trembles around me, as though the very essence of the reaches is being torn apart, unraveling in the face of my defiance. You cannot choose, the Watcher says, its voice barely a whisper now. You cannot choose anything. The reaches are the choice. The darkness is the choice. It was always meant to be this way. The ground beneath me trembles. The air grows colder still, and the pressure of the reaches intensifies, but I stand my ground. I stand in the face of it, in the face of the darkness, the void, and I refuse to be swallowed by it. I choose not to be part of you. I say again, my voice now a roar, a shout that echoes through the darkness. I choose to live. The Watcher's form falters, its flickering presence collapsing in on itself, as though it cannot comprehend my words, my defiance. The shadows around me shudder, as if the very foundation of the reaches is beginning to crack. And then, in a burst of light, small but brilliant, the darkness around me shatters. The pressure eases, the shadows fall away, and for the first time since I entered the reaches, I feel the weight of the world lift from my shoulders. The air is cold, but it is clean. The darkness is still there, but it no longer controls me. The Watcher is gone. The darkness doesn't completely disappear. It's still there, lingering at the edges of my vision, like a shadow I can't quite escape. But the weight of it is different now. It no longer feels like it is suffocating me, like it is part of me. I have broken the bond, severed the connection between myself and the void. For the first time since I stepped into this place, I feel a sense of freedom, of possibility. The air, though cold, feels different. There's a lightness to it, a crispness that wasn't there before. The ground beneath me still pulses with a faint, eerie hum, but it is quieter now, less oppressive. The shadows still swirl around me, but they are no longer a constant, pressing threat. They are just shadows. I have faced them, I have endured them, and I have defied them. And yet, there is no triumph. There is no celebration. The reaches are not something to be conquered. They are a part of this world, and they always will be. I have not banished them. I have simply learned to live alongside them, to resist their pull. But they are still here. They are still waiting. And I know they will find new ways to reach into me, to whisper their lies, to tempt me back into their embrace. I take a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill my lungs. I don't know where I am going. The path ahead is shrouded in darkness, but I know I cannot stay where I am. I have to keep moving. I have to keep moving forward, toward something, anything that is not this void. With each step I take, the world around me shifts. The landscape warps, like a reflection in broken glass. The shadows stretch and twist, warping into strange, alien shapes that flicker in and out of existence. The reaches are alive, always changing, always shifting, as if they are a living, breathing thing. The path ahead is unclear, but I move forward nonetheless. I don't know what lies ahead, but I can feel something. A pull, a faint beckoning, like a whisper on the wind. It's calling me, drawing me onward. I don't know if it's the light I found within myself or something else entirely, but I feel a sense of purpose now. The reaches are not just a place of darkness and despair. They are a place of discovery, of hidden truths, of things that have been buried beneath layers of fear and hopelessness. I can feel it now, the promise of something beyond the darkness. I walk for what feels like hours or maybe days. Time has lost all meaning in this place. The very concept of time is irrelevant here. There is no sun to mark the passage of hours, no stars to guide my way. The reaches are a place beyond time, beyond the rules of the world I once knew. And then, as if the darkness itself has drawn back, I see something ahead, a figure standing in the distance. It is faint, like a mirage, like a shadow formed out of the very fabric of the reaches. But it is there. I stop. My heart begins to race, the familiar sense of unease creeping back into my chest. The figure does not move. It is still, unmoving, like a sentinel guarding some secret that I am not meant to discover. I take a step forward, my breath shallow, my senses alert. The shadows still swirl around me, but they are not as suffocating as before. I move with purpose, my feet steady on the ground, my mind focused. As I draw closer, the figure becomes clearer. It is humanoid in shape, but its features are obscured by a hood, by a shroud of darkness that clings to it like smoke. There is a presence about it, something ancient and powerful, something that makes the air grow heavier with every step I take toward it. "Who are you?" I ask, my voice steady despite the storm of thoughts raging in my mind. The figure does not answer, but it tilts its head, as if considering my question. The shadows around it seem to respond to its movements, shifting and swirling in ways that feel deliberate. I take another step forward. "What is this place? What are you?" The figure remains silent, its form flickering like a candle flame in the wind. But then, it raises one hand, gesturing for me to come closer. There is no word, no command, but the gesture is clear. It is an invitation. I hesitate. My mind races, but my body moves of its own accord. There is something about this figure, something about its presence that calls to me, that pulls me forward. My instincts tell me to be wary, to turn back, but my feet carry me forward nonetheless. As I approach, the shadows around the figure begin to shift more violently, like the very fabric of reality is bending around it. The air grows colder still, and I can feel the presence of the reaches pressing in, like the very essence of the void is crowding in on me. But the figure does not move. It remains still, waiting. I am close now. I can feel its presence in every fiber of my being, like it is pulling at me, reading my thoughts, my soul. I can feel the weight of the reaches in it, the ancient power that has lived in this place long before I ever set foot in it. But there is something else as well. A flicker of recognition, something buried deep inside me, like a memory I've forgotten, a feeling I've pushed aside. I stand in front of the figure now, close enough to reach out and touch it, but I do not. There is an unspoken barrier between us, an invisible wall that I cannot cross. "What do you want?" I ask again, my voice softer now, almost hesitant. The figure lowers its hood. For the briefest of moments, I feel a cold rush of terror. The face beneath the hood is not a face at all. It is a void, an absence, a shadow where a face should be, a hole in the very fabric of existence. The eyes, if they can be called eyes, are nothing but pools of blackness, infinite and deep, like staring into the very heart of the reaches. And yet I feel no fear. Not now. There is no terror, only understanding. A deep, unsettling understanding. You, I whisper, my voice trembling. You are the reaches. The figure does not respond, but the shadows around it shudder, as if acknowledging my words. The darkness grows thicker. The very air around me seems to close in, suffocating, pressing in on every side. I can feel the weight of it in my chest, my heart pounding against the suffocating pressure. I am the reaches, the figure says, its voice a deep, resonant hum that vibrates through the very core of my being. I am the void, the darkness, the emptiness. I am the thing that feeds on fear, on hope, on despair. I am what lies beneath the surface of all things, what has always been, the heart of the world. I take a step back, my breath shallow. What do you want from me? The figure's voice is soft, like a whisper on the wind. I do not want anything from you. I am not here to take. I am here to offer. Offer. I echo, my mind racing. Yes, the reaches are not just a place. They are a part of the world, a part of everything. You are a part of it too. You are not separate from this place. You never were. The darkness is within you, just as it is within all things. You cannot escape it, but you can accept it. You can learn to live with it. I stand still, my thoughts swirling. But you can choose, the figure interrupts. You can choose how to live with it. You can choose how to shape it. The darkness will always be there, but you do not have to be consumed by it. I stand there, the weight of the words pressing on me, but something in me shifts. The understanding, the acceptance. I can feel the darkness inside me, yes, but it is not me. It does not define me. I can shape it, live with it, learn from it. I step forward, closer to the figure. I understand. The figure doesn't move, but I can feel the shift in the air, like the very fabric of the reaches has bent to my will. The figure before me is still and silent, its dark, shifting form flickering at the edges of my perception, like the edge of a dream just out of reach. Its presence is all-encompassing, and for a moment, I wonder if I have made a mistake. I wonder if accepting the reaches, this living darkness, is the right choice. But deep down, beneath the weight of fear and doubt, I know it is the only choice I can make. The reaches are not something I can escape, not something I can banish or defeat. They are woven into the very fabric of this world. And more than that, they are part of me. They have always been. I cannot outrun them, and I cannot sever the connection between them and me. But I can change the way I live with them. I take another step forward, my feet unsteady, my heart beating in my chest like a frantic drum. I don't know what this choice will mean. I don't know what lies ahead. But I know that I cannot stay in this moment of indecision. I have already walked too far. I have already come too close to the truth to turn back now. I accept, I say, my voice barely a whisper, but it rings out in the silent darkness, clear and unwavering. I accept the reaches. I accept the darkness within me. The figure before me does not respond immediately. The air around us trembles with an unseen force, and the shadows grow thicker, curling in on themselves. The very fabric of the world around us seems to shift, like the earth itself is responding to my words, to my decision. And then, with a soft, resonating hum, the figure raises its hand again, as if to acknowledge what I've said. You have made the right choice, the figure's voice says, deep and ancient, like the sound of a storm rolling in from the distance. But know this, choosing to live with the darkness is not an easy path. The reaches are not just a part of this world. They are a part of you. You will face trials. You will face temptations. And there will be moments when you will doubt yourself, when you will wonder if you made the right choice. But the darkness will always be with you, and it will always offer you a way out, if you choose to give in to it. I nod, swallowing the lump in my throat. I understand, but I won't give in. I won't be consumed by it. The figure's eyes, those hollow pools of blackness, seem to regard me for a long moment. I can feel the weight of its gaze, like it is reading something deep inside me, some part of me that I cannot yet understand. The reaches, the void, it is more than just a place. It is a force that feeds on despair, on fear, on hope. It is a living thing, a hunger that will always be present, but one that can be resisted, one that can be understood. Then you must learn, the figure says, its voice a soft, almost musical hum. You must learn the ways of the reaches, and learn to shape them as you shape your own soul. You are not powerless here. You have more than just the darkness. You have the light within you, and that is your true strength. But remember, the reaches will never let you go. They will always be waiting, watching, and you will have to be vigilant. You will have to be stronger than you are now. I nod again, feeling the weight of its words settle into me. The reaches are not something that can be easily controlled. They are a part of the world's fabric, and by choosing to live with them, I have opened a door to understanding but also to danger. The darkness will always be there, pressing against me, tempting me to lose myself in it. But I have something that the darkness cannot take from me. The light inside me. It is fragile, yes, but it is mine, and I will fight for it. The figure begins to fade, its form dissolving into the shadows around it, leaving behind only the faintest trace of its presence. I feel the pull of the reaches again, stronger now, as if they are testing me, trying to see if I will falter. But I stand firm. I do not let it consume me. Go. The figure's voice echoes as it disappears. Your journey is far from over, but you are ready. Ready to walk the path that will shape the world around you. Ready to face the reaches and everything that comes with them. And then it is gone. I stand alone in the darkness, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on me. The reaches are still here, still a part of me, but I am not lost. I am not a prisoner of the void. I can feel the light inside me, faint but steady, like a small flame in the heart of a storm. I hold on to it, clutching it with everything I have. I begin to walk again, my feet steady, my thoughts clear. The path ahead is still uncertain. I don't know where it will lead me or what challenges I will face. But I know one thing, I will face them. I will not let the darkness control me. I will shape it. I will shape my own path. The reaches are not an enemy I can destroy, but they are not a god I must worship either. They are a force I can live with if I choose to understand them, if I choose to control them. As I walk, the shadows around me begin to shift. They move like living things, stretching and curling, twisting in strange patterns, but they do not press in on me. They are no longer suffocating. They are just shadows. I have learned something important. I have learned that the darkness is not the end. It is just one part of a much larger whole, and I am ready to face whatever lies ahead. The world shifts again as I continue forward. The landscape around me is no longer the same endless expanse of void that I first encountered. The reaches are still here, but they are no longer just a blank canvas of despair. The air feels different. It feels alive, as though the world is responding to my decision, shifting around me in ways I cannot yet understand. I feel something else now, a subtle pull, a guide, pulling me forward in a direction I cannot see but can somehow feel. I do not know what it is, but it feels like a force that is leading me somewhere important. Cannot ignore it. I will follow it. It feels like the next step in my journey, the next chapter that I must unfold. I take another step, and then I hear something, a sound distant at first but growing louder. A low hum like the vibrations of the earth itself. It is a sound I have heard before, back when the reaches first swallowed me whole. But this time it is different. This time it does not feel threatening. This time it feels like something calling me home. I stop. I can hear the hum again, clearer now, like the sound of something vast and ancient stirring in the deep places of the world. It is a call, a beckoning, promise. I take a deep breath, steadying myself. And then I walk toward it. I move with a purpose, but not with haste. The path ahead is still shrouded in the ever-present gloom of the reaches, but I no longer fear the shadows. They are not enemies to be fought, but elements of a greater whole. The darkness that once sought to consume me now flows alongside me, a companion rather than a predator. The air here feels different, not lighter, exactly, but more breathable, as if I have become attuned to its weight. It is strange, this new awareness, this sense that I have begun to understand the very fabric of the world around me. The reaches are not merely a place. They are a reflection of the forces that govern this world, the unseen, the unspoken, the things that lie beneath the surface. The fear, the hope, the despair. They are not outside of me. They are within me. They are the very currents that flow through the universe. I have learned that I cannot fight them. I cannot banish them, but I can control them. I can choose how I respond to them. I can use them, shape them, let them be a part of me without letting them define me. This is the power that the reaches offer me, the power to shape my own path. It is not a simple power. It is a dangerous one, and I know that. But for the first time, I feel as though I am in control of my own destiny. As I walk, the shadows seem to shift around me, following my movements like a living thing. They are still there, pressing against me, testing me, but I feel no fear, no hunger, no compulsion to submit. I pass through them like I am walking through a heavy fog, dense, but not suffocating. The darkness is no longer a threat. It is just a part of the world, part of me, and then I see it. Ahead, in the distance, a flicker of light. It is faint at first, just a glimmer, a spark against the blackness. But as I approach, it grows stronger. The light is not warm, not the kind of light that I remember from my old world, but it is real. It is a light that exists in the very heart of the darkness. It is the kind of light that can only be born from the union of shadow and hope. I step forward, drawn to it, feeling its pull deep within me. The air grows colder, but the chill does not sting. It is the kind of cold that feels almost cleansing, like a reminder of something forgotten, something I've known but have yet to fully understand. I reach the source of the light. It is a small, flickering flame, contained within a stone circle, surrounded by a field of blackened grass. The light is not pure. It shimmers, wavering in the gloom, like it is fighting against the darkness, but somehow surviving. The flame does not burn hot, but it is steady, persistent, like a heartbeat in the stillness. I kneel down, feeling the pull of it in my chest, and I extend my hand toward the flame. As I do, the shadows around me stir. The darkness swirls and gathers, as though it is aware of the flame's presence, as though it seeks to smother it, to snuff it out. But the flame does not waver. It burns stronger with each passing moment, flickering with a fierce determination that matches the pulse in my chest. I hesitate for a moment. My hand inches away from the flame. The shadows close in tighter, and for the first time in what feels like ages, a thought crosses my mind. The reaches are not just a reflection of fear and despair. They are a reflection of choices. The choices that we make in the face of darkness, in the face of uncertainty. And here, in this moment, I face a choice. Will I reach for the light, even though it seems so fragile, so tenuous? Or will I let the darkness swallow it whole, as it has swallowed so many things before? I extend my hand, and I feel the warmth of the flame. It is not the kind of warmth I remember, the warmth of sunlight or fire. It is something deeper. It is a warmth that comes from within, from the core of my being. The flame is a reflection of that part of me, the part that has refused to succumb to the darkness, the part that has fought to survive, the part that has chosen to live, even when the world seemed beyond hope. The flame flickers and shifts, but it does not go out. I rise to my feet, the flame still dancing in the stone circle before me, its light casting long shadows across the ground. The reaches are still here, still pressing in from all sides, but I am no longer afraid of them. I am no longer afraid of the darkness. It is a part of me, and I will not run from it. I will not let it consume me. The light is my choice. The shadows are my choice. And as I turn away from the flame, I feel a new understanding settle in my chest. The reaches are not a prison. They are not a curse. They are a part of the world, a part of the self. I walk away from the stone circle, the shadows swirling around me, but no longer pressing in, no longer suffocating. They are simply there. I feel their presence, but I do not feel them consuming me. I have learned to walk beside them, to live with them, not to fight them. The path ahead is still unclear. The world is still full of uncertainty, of shadow and light, of hope and despair. But now I know that I can walk through it. I can shape it. I can shape myself. The reaches are not an enemy. They are not a force to be feared. They are simply a part of this world. A world that is far more complicated, far more beautiful than I ever realized. And as I walk on, I no longer feel the weight of the darkness. It is not gone, but it is no longer my burden to carry. It is a part of the landscape, like the earth beneath my feet, like the air that I breathe. It is simply there, and I can choose how to move through it. I don't know what lies ahead. I don't know if I will ever truly be free of the reaches. But I do know this: I have learned to live with them. I have learned to live with myself. And that, perhaps, is the greatest victory of all. The path stretches before me, but it no longer feels like an endless void. The reaches, once oppressive and unyielding, now seem less like a labyrinth to escape from and more like a landscape to traverse. The shadows still linger at the edges of my vision, but they no longer chase me. They no longer define me. I walk through them, no longer a prisoner, but a traveler. The flame I left behind, the one that burned steady and bright in that stone circle, remains in my mind. I carry its warmth with me, even as the air grows colder. Even as the reaches continue to press against the edges of my thoughts, I hold onto that flicker of light. It is not the same as the light of the sun or the warmth of a hearth, but it is a different kind of warmth, one that comes from within. It is the warmth of choice, the warmth of acceptance. I no longer wonder if I am walking toward an end. The destination no longer matters. What matters is how I move through the darkness, how I carry it with me. The reaches are not an enemy, not a force to be feared. They are a reflection of all things, the light and the shadow, the joy and the sorrow, the hope and the despair. They are part of the world, and they are part of me. The world around me shifts, the ground beneath my feet changing with every step. The shadows move with me, bending and stretching like living things, but I do not feel their pull. I do not feel their hunger. I feel no fear. I feel at peace. I do not know if I will ever be truly free of the reaches. I do not know if I will ever find a place where the darkness does not press in on me, where the weight of it is not there. But I know now that it does not matter. I can live with it. I can walk with it. I can shape it. I can choose my path. And that choice is everything. As I move deeper into the reaches, the landscape begins to shift in strange ways. The shadows grow thicker, more pronounced, but they no longer close in on me. They part before me, like waves moving around a stone in a river. The darkness bends and swirls, but it does not touch me. It is there, but it no longer seeks to consume. It is a companion now, not an enemy. I walk for hours, days, maybe, through the ever-changing landscape, and I realize that I have not been here before. The reaches have never looked like this. The ground is now dotted with strange, glowing plants that emit a soft, ethereal light. The air is thick with the hum of life, though it is unlike any life I've known. The shadows still linger, but they are not oppressive. They are like the night sky, vast, infinite, full of mystery, but no longer something to fear. As I walk, I find that the reaches are not just a reflection of the darkness within me. They are a reflection of all things: life, death, growth, decay. Everything that exists is mirrored here. The reaches are not just the absence of light. They are the presence of something more, a complexity that cannot be fully understood, only experienced. The darkness is not evil, nor is it good. It simply is, and it is through understanding that I learn to navigate it. At times, the path is unclear. The landscape shifts as it always has, and I wonder if I am going in circles, if I will ever find what I am looking for. But I know now that the journey is not about reaching a destination. It is about understanding the journey itself. The reaches have no end, no beginning. They are a continuous flow, like the cycles of life and death, light and darkness. There is no true escape. There is only movement, and I move forward. The landscape shifts again, and I find myself standing before a vast chasm. The shadows within it are so deep that they seem to swallow the light itself. The air here is heavy, thick with something ancient, something forgotten. But I do not hesitate. I step forward, feeling the pull of something, some deep, instinctual understanding that calls me toward the abyss. The darkness here feels different. It is not oppressive or suffocating. It is quiet. It is still. But it is full of weight, full of memory. The chasm seems to stretch out forever, a gap in the fabric of the world. I feel its depth in my bones, in my soul. I stand at the edge, peering into the void. The air is thick with silence, the kind of silence that comes before something immense, something world-changing. And for the first time, I understand. This chasm is not a void to be feared. It is a mirror, a reflection of the choices I have made, a reflection of everything I have learned about myself, about the reaches, about the darkness that has always been a part of me. I reach out my hand, not in fear, but in understanding. I place it against the edge of the chasm, and the darkness around me stirs. It is not violent. It is not threatening. It simply shifts, moving like a living thing, as though it recognizes me, as though it acknowledges the choices I have made. And in that moment, I realize something. I realize that the reaches are not something I have to fight. They are not something that needs to be defeated. They are not my enemy. They are part of the world. Part of me. I have shaped them. I have learned to live with them. And now, for the first time, I can see that they have shaped me too. I step away from the chasm, feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders, but no longer in a way that burdens me. The shadows around me shift, but they no longer press in. They do not seek to consume me. They simply exist. And in their existence, I find a strange peace. The path ahead is still unclear. The future is still uncertain. But I know now that it is mine to shape. I can choose how I move through the darkness. I can choose how I live within it. And that, more than anything, is what the reaches have taught me. I continue walking, the darkness parting before me like a curtain, revealing the next step of my journey. The shadows may never fully fade, but they no longer define me. They are a part of the world, and I am a part of them. The reaches are not an end. They are a beginning, and I am ready for whatever comes next.